Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Register your alma mater for the Forestry Department's My Tree Legacy Promotion and be a part of the preservation of Jamaica land we love. St. Catherine High past student Prime Minister Andrew Holness recently participated in the initiative.
It is not just because it sounds like a very nice thing to do to plant trees. It is a very real strategic response in being a responsible government, a responsible nation, a caring nation about our planet and our atmosphere and our climate and our environment to plant trees.
Let us highlight your contribution to the My Tree Legacy Promotion by submitting videos or pictures of you leaving your mark. Every tree counts. Plant a tree today and keep climate change away.
This is Iroy. Iroy is a born Jamaican.
Wagwan!
Iroy and the other Jamaican iguanas live in the Hershey Hills Forest in St. Catherine, Jamaica. Jamaican iguanas live in Jamaica and nowhere else in the world.
Big up me crew!
Iroy and his friends eat fruit, flowers and leaves and are not harmful to people.
Me yam the seed. I poop it out. Look on that. New trees them out.
The Jamaican iguana was thought to be extinct.
Dead and gone.
But in 1990, a small group was found living in the Hershey Hills. Thanks to many scientists from Jamaica and around the world, their numbers have grown. The Jamaican iguana is one of the biggest conservation success stories in the world. But their survival is still threatened by mongoose, wild pigs, stray cats and dogs that attack them, their babies, and their nests. People also destroy their forests by cutting down trees for charcoal.
People, no trouble me. Please, just help me protect me and me yard.
For more information on how to help the Jamaican iguana, log on to www.jamentrust.org.
There is a fundamental and irreconcilable conflict between the interests of the tobacco industry and public policy interests. The tobacco industry, for profit, produces and promotes a product that has been scientifically proven to be highly addictive and causes millions of deaths per year. This is in conflict with the intent of public policies, particularly those related to safeguarding the health and well-being of citizens. In keeping with Jamaica's treaty obligations, the proposed Tobacco Control Act makes provision for the strict regulation of the interaction between public officials and the tobacco industry. Strong tobacco control policies, such as the provisions in the proposed act, will safeguard public health policies and give the next generation a chance to live and breathe easily.
Bruises are much worse. You have to report him. Yeah, but if I go to the police station, they're just going to see it as another man and woman fighting.
Victims of domestic abuse can get help through the Domestic Violence Intervention Centers. Let me show you how to find one of these centers. Open the browser on your smartphone and type in jcf.gov.jm. When the page loads, scroll down to Resources and click on Domestic Violence Intervention Centers. This will give you a full listing of all the centers with their contact information. Or just walk into any police station and ask them to direct you to the nearest Domestic Violence Intervention Center where you can speak to a police officer.
A message from the European Union United Nations Spotlight Initiative in partnership with the Government of Jamaica.
For little people, it's a really big world. A big world to discover and explore. And because discoveries aren't always easy to understand, little people need help to make sense of the big world. So help them make sense of the world. When you CPG, do PG. The Broadcasting Commission, your partner for a new day.
Over 100 murders in 1 month, Jamaica? We can't continue like this. The killing must end. Do right by the future generation. Get the guns, save our country.
We are now open and ready to take our women in who are being abused. The facility will accept clients even while we continue to receive donations and build out our programs to help women to rebuild their lives and get back on their feet. I use this opportunity, Madam Speaker, to read out the 24-hour hotline numbers for women who need the shelter. 876-553-0372 or 876-929-2997. The other two properties are now in early reconstruction and or refurbishing stages and will be transformed quickly into safe spaces for women.
Cockpit Country, Jamaica's heartland.
As you can see, it's a farming community, very deep rural. And if the company should come now and mine these lands, then the livelihood of the people would be at stake.
Home to many Jamaicans who love where they live and want to make sure it is protected.
One of my major concerns is the water stable from Old Trios right back to Montego Bay. All of these water come from the Cockpit Country. When the bauxite company mine these places and chop the water stable, what are we going to do?
We're having the problem with the water in the city, in the school. The top of the school, which we use as the main source of catching the water, the catchment for the town. And then when they dust accommodate there, then they wash into the tap. And the children have to use the same water to drink.
The government said they will not allow mining in the Cockpit Country protected area. But that doesn't protect the areas that lie just beside it.
So just because you're outside of the protected area boundary doesn't mean that you're not still a part of Cockpit Country. It's still connected above ground and below ground.
That means anything we do very close to the boundary, like mining, can still hurt what lies in the protected area. Find out how you can take action to protect Cockpit Country by logging on to www.savecockpitcountry.org.
The hurricane season runs from June 1 through November 30. It normally peaks between August and October. Be prepared.
Lightning have been known to strike during a storm. Lightning can travel through your home's plumbing system and give you quite a jolt. Stay out of the shower during a storm. Avoid washing dishes as well. Monitor your radio or television for weather updates and instructions. Be prepared.
No one is immune to mental illness. Your age, race, gender, social class, or economic status is no match for addictive behaviors, anxiety or eating disorders, depression or schizophrenia. What is having a good social support system. As the saying goes, in times of test, family is best. Unfortunately, many are denied the benefit of the support of family and friends because of stigma and an oppressive silence around mental illness. Let's put an end to the silence.
Speak up. Speak now.
End the stigma.
Share your story.
End the stigma.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Public sector transformation is a comprehensive program that looks at the reform of the public sector in Jamaica. It was one of the programs that came out of the IMF latest program with Jamaica, and the IDB and the World Bank and others committed to funding programs that would help the country meet those targets and commitments that they made under the IMF program. Specifically under the public sector transformation, we're looking to modernize the way that the government handles human resources, centralize certain specific services, and also digitize and modernize certain type of public services. A big push for digitization has come from the COVID-19 crisis. We estimated that in the Latin American and Caribbean region, only about 20% of government processes used to be online before COVID. Today, we're up to 41, which is an improvement that happened just in a couple of years, something that in normal times would have taken maybe a decade, and now it has taken only about a year or so. It's a highly strategic program that goes right to the core of modernizing the country. You know, if you look, for example, at the administrative processes that we're digitizing, the human resources, this is about eliminating hundreds of thousands of pieces of papers, making people's lives easier, and meeting the government's commitment to make Jamaica the country of choice to live, do business, and raise your children.
The Inter-American Development Bank has been a consistent development partner of the government of Jamaica. They have funded several projects over the years geared towards building a better public service. For the Transformation Implementation Unit, the IDB has provided us with a loan of $50 million spread across 5 project pillars that we have developed here at the TIU in collaboration with public sector employees, heads of the
persons will ask that have already been answered, but because of the challenges with audio, you may not have heard. But so I'll take that into consideration. But at this time, the first question goes to David Salmon of the Gleaner. Shall we unmute David Salmon? I ask you to unmute yourself, David. Go ahead, David. Yes, you are being heard. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I have 2 questions. Firstly, has any complaint been previously lodged with the police by Ms. Donaldson in relation to her relationship with her boyfriend? And secondly, can you confirm if there are any potential persons of interest that the police are looking for that will play a role in this investigation?
Okay. For the first question, I am not aware of any report regarding any interaction or any challenge between the boyfriend and Miss Donaldson. I'm not aware of that. We have no such report. In terms of the second question, we are looking at all the variables that we have. We have broadened our investigation, and I will not say at this time we have identified any person of interest. We have in our minds, we are looking at some theories. We will not say what those are, but we have not yet narrowed it down to a person of interest.
Thank you. Anthony Henry of Loop News, you have the next question.
Good afternoon. I have 2 questions. How does the baby mother of Constabulary factor into the whole situation? And is the police investigating a case of murder as well as a missing person?
As I indicated before, we have broadened our investigation. We are not confining our investigation to a missing person. We are looking at all the variables that we have identified. We are doing a lot of research, and I'm not going to say we are now looking at a homicide, but anything is possible. So we are ensuring that we capture all the evidence that are available, that whatever we find, there will be no shortfall in terms of the approach that we have taken in the investigation.
Thank you. And
I must point out that the cars were processed, that both cars, that's for Mr. Maitland and the female, the woman district constable, and we are looking on other things that we consider to be of evidential value.
Thank you very much, Anthony. I see no other raised hands. Are there any other journalists on the platform who'd like to ask questions? Brittany Hutchinson from The Observer. Welcome, Brittany.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm hearing reports of a video being circulated where a pickup truck went to the apartment. Will that video be used in the investigation, or can anything be said about that video?
I am not aware of any such video. I have heard it. Whatever we can put our hand on, we will examine to see if it can be of evidential value. We have actually recovered in excess of 20 hours of CCTV footage, and that is being processed. We expect that at the conclusion of processing those footages, we will possibly identify some things that we consider to be of evidential value. I want to point out too that we have not yet determined that a definite person is dead, so we can't, say that we are investigating a murder. We hope that we will find Miss Donaldson alive, but within the same breath, we are just exploring all the leads that we have. And if it results in that, she's dead, then I don't think there will be any shortfall, in the approach that we have taken in the investigation.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from Siobhan Wayne Campbell, which says, have you been able to establish a timeline of Miss Donaldson's movements after she was picked up via the CCTV footage? Have we spoken to being picked up by CCTV? No, we've not spoken to that, so I'm not certain how that question applies. We acknowledge that journalists have a job to ask the probing questions, but some of these questions that are being asked are based on hearsay. Some of the questions that are being asked it is too early in the investigation to answer. We do not want to say or do anything that is prejudicial to the possible course that the investigation might take. But that question that you have posed, I'm not certain that it's properly posed, given that you've said something that we have not commented on at all. Are there any other questions? Ricardo Brooks from Nationwide says, good afternoon. You say you have identified no person of interest or subject. Is it that the evidence gathered so far points in no certain direction or gives no indication?
What I will say at this time, it's early days. I indicated earlier on that we are looking at some theories, but we will not disclose those. We are looking, and as I indicated before, we have broadened our investigation. We are looking not just at the person going to the apartment, but we are looking far beyond that. And I think that's as far as I can go at this time.
All right, the journalists, okay, Siobhan Wayne Campbell is asking, you say you have gathered CCTV footage. Does this footage in any way establish a timeline of Miss Donaldson's movements?
I am not certain, because I have indicated before that The CC footage over 20 hours was actually retrieved and it is being processed. We do not know what we will get from that.
So, very good question, but it is just a little bit early to answer that question at this time. We can assure you that as we have done in the past in relation to other quote-unquote high-profile missing persons investigations, we can assure you that we will update you, the members of the press and the wider society, periodically as it relates to the progress of the investigation.
If I may, Dennis.
Yes.
I just want to say to the public, I want you to bear in mind that this is an investigation. And there are many persons who are looking on. So we, as investigators, we have to guard what we can disclose to the public. And I hope that the public will understand that. In the interests of the investigation and the interests of justice, there are some things that we just cannot disclose.
All right, Ricardo Brooks is asking, have you questioned Miss Donaldson's boyfriend and his baby mother? If so, when did this happen?
Yeah, I think in my deliberation, I indicated that he was interviewed and a statement recorded. Miss Donaldson was approached, Miss Symmetra, yeah, the district constable was approached. And she has refused, actually, to give a statement. But we will deal with that at the appropriate time. It's an investigation that is ongoing, and there are methods that we can deploy or we can employ to deal with that issue. As a citizen, you have a right, and a statement is a voluntary, it's voluntary, but we are still doing our investigation.
Ricardo Brooks is asking, finally, have you obtained phone records for the 3 individuals?
I will not go into all the details of the investigation. It's an investigation, it's a criminal investigation that we are conducting. A missing person which might end up into a criminal investigation. So we have to be guarded in terms of the type of information that we give to the public. Be mindful that if there are accused, they are also listening and observing.
All right, that is all the time. I'm not seeing any further questions from the journalists on the platform. So, okay, I'm going to allow one more. Anthony Henry from Loop News.
Yes, probably DCP Billy had said it before, but the audio was choppy. I'm trying to find out how does the big mother factor into all of it? Because, I mean, some of us, she came in out of left field. Well, is there anything by way of text or their previous threats to her from the baby mother? Because we understand how sometimes this relationship works. How does the big mother factor into all of it?
I'm going to say this again. Whilst we want to give as much information to the public, we cannot do an investigation in the open. We have to be mindful that as an investigator, we are here to serve the interests of justice. And so we cannot disclose everything. And I crave your appreciation and understanding of this. What I will say is that the investigation is given significant attention from the highest level. We are going to ensure that the investigation is transparent, and that's what we are doing. From the level of the portfolio, we are given that level of oversight. The CIB headquarters is also given oversight, and there will be frequent case conferences. And at the end of it all, we will get back to the public to let you know what is the end result of this investigation. We want to ensure that the family also receive closure, because that is very important, whether the missing person is found alive, and let's hope and pray that that is the result. But if it's the other way, we want to ensure that the family gets closure to this investigation, and we are committed to ensure that that is done. There's another matter that maybe I just want to say a few words on, and that matter relates to the murder of Philip Wallace and the shooting with intent of Money Ellis, which was committed on Saturday, July 16 at 3 Greenslide Close, Red Hills, St. Andrew. I will just say that this investigation is being done jointly by INDECOM and MID, that's the Major Investigation Division. So far, 2 police officers are in custody and 1 fled the island. We are working with our international partners, and I can assure you that the person who fled the island will be returned and justice will be done in this matter. I will not comment any further. The investigation is well advanced, and we believe that in short order the appropriate action will be taken to those who are responsible for this murder.
Thank you very much, DCP Bailey. Just to say, so in recapping, because I know that there are many persons who did not hear everything, this matter is being treated with the greatest of seriousness, with the utmost of professional standards from various divisions and teams within the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We are going to be updating the society on developments in relation to this matter, because we do realize how much anxiety has been created by this particular missing persons investigation. But let me emphasize that the Jamaica Constabulary Force investigates every missing persons report. While many don't make headline news, and while many are not the subject of outrage or campaigns on social media, we investigate every single one. There is a total of 848 persons who have been reported missing since the start of the year. 305 males, 543 females. 176 of those males have been returned. 379 of those females have been returned. There are still 162 females outstanding, and there are still 109 males outstanding. There are many persons who, when we put out missing persons alerts, they go by unmentioned. I am imploring everyone, please, if you have any information about any missing person, please share what you know. You can call Crime Stop at 311. You can call NIB at 811. You can call your nearest police station or a policeman or woman that you trust. We treat all missing persons seriously. Thank you for your assistance. Thank you for your interest in this matter. We are a force for good, and we are serving you, the public. Thank you very much.